Welcome back, Weeb0nomics. We are here again with Steven. We're catching back up on Attack on Titan. Steven, again, proving me right that I'm always right and that he
every time. We ain't gonna hear the end of that.
Well, I mean, don't prove me right every time. It's that easy. Yeah. Okay. Well, so continuing on. So you went to episode, I think we counted it was like 56 is where you ended up getting to.
Yes.
So blew through the remainder. You think you only had like 2 episodes of season 1 left, blew through season 2, which was only 12 episodes. So easy enough to do. And then you got like, I want to say like 10-ish episodes into season 3. So before we dig into any specifics, are you still feeling the same way in terms of like how much you're interested in it as you were in that first section? Because you said I couldn't stop watching the beginning, right? Are you still feeling that same way with this section as well?
It was very difficult to stop.
Yeah.
Especially when the whole thing, from season 1, they were, especially, we hear it from Aaron's side, like, go to the basement, everything, the answers are there. And I'm literally right at the basement, and I just had to stop because I blew so far ahead of what we were supposed to, what we agreed on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's killing me.
So
yes, it's been solid so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Plot twist and all.
So Steven's also been drinking tonight. So I'm really hoping we get some good moments that come out of this.
I get some more whiskey over there.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of surprised you didn't go for it. I have expected it to happen.
There's like at least 2 bottles of soju in me right now.
I feel like we should do, like we were just talking about drunk history. I feel like we should do this where you have to get wasted and then like explain a season to me.
We should do that for like Dot Tact.
Okay, we can do, but you already have seen that, so I feel like we'll find it for it. We'll
find something.
Yeah, we'll find it. It would be we could do Don to Don, and that one's
I heard it's
fucking
good.
It's good, but it's crazy. Like there's some weird shit in that show. It had the last episode hit me in the feels like real good. Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
My hero right in the feels.
Yeah. Okay, so before we leave on this tangent forever, so going into, so you still felt like really attracted. So I guess my question with that was initially because I do remember when season 2 initially came out, it did feel a little bit like a lull. So to go from season 1 where it was very action packed to season 2 where that second half is really like Historia's situation, right? And figuring that out, it did slow down for me. And I remember not loving that season as much. Did you feel similar, or just because you breezed right through it, didn't even feel that way?
I understand why they put it there. It's needed for season 3 or like towards it, and it was like, okay, whatever. What's her face? Ymir.
Yep.
Ymir, like, okay, it goes into her a little bit. I found her interesting. I was very surprised about her situation, how she was Astro the Titan, and it kind of fed into how Bathomir and I forgot the armor titan's name.
Bertolt and Reiner.
Reiner, yeah. It kind of like how they kind of have to work together all of a sudden, right? Instead of just killing each other or whatever.
Yeah.
So I see why it was necessary. Yeah, I understand why season 2 was kind of slow compared to season 1, but it always happens, right? There's always going to be like an information portion.
Yeah. Well, animes. And I do feel like there's still plenty of like plot twisty events that happen in season 2. Like that's the thing with this show that I feel is pretty consistent. There's a lot of plot twists like throughout.
Yeah.
Right. So I still felt like, even just kind of going back and reviewing that all those moments are still there. So I'm kind of surprised that I remember it not being as interesting, because when I look at it, I'm like, holy crap, a ton happened in that season to like set up where we're at.
One, I think one was being where everybody was at the castle at night. And then all of a sudden the Titans were mobile at night. Like, what the heck is this? And then all of a sudden you get the introduction of the Beast Titan.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I feel like
where's this guy coming from?
I'm assuming that you did not get to that point in the manga, right, with the Beast Titan.
Oh no, I
Okay.
think I stopped essentially where where not Connie was
Saw like his mom in the
saw his
village.
mom at the village, and
Yeah.
then Reiner,
Yeah.
Reiner was he was gaslighting the fuck out of everybody. I was watching that like he's a fucking gaslighter, man. It was hilarious. You know, and I thought essentially that's where I stopped at the manga.
Okay, so now we're fully in the like you don't know what's happening
Now I
and
don't
everything
know.
is new.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I think this is the part that I'm excited for because like I wanted to get to this place where like things feel new to you.
Yeah, because I was trying to rush through the portions I already saw. Because it was good, but I already knew the story, so there was no plot
Yeah.
twist or anything. But now
Yeah.
it's like information overload.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and so because there's a lot that happened, right? So I'm trying to think before we go too deep into the individual situations. Was there one moment that stuck out to you as a favorite of this chunk, and one that felt like it wasn't as interesting, I guess? Because I think it's good to look at these sections and be like, okay, what did I really love, or what was like, like I could have not really cared that much about that.
Oh my goodness, that's so hard. I think what was really cool was kind of getting a little bit more backstory on the whole Titan situation.
Mm.
We kind of finally understand. I think it was hinted very little by little how the human smart Titans
It
are.
finished.
Oh, finally! I was expecting 2 hours or something, but that's Scott's little Star Wars game on the side. What was I saying? It was the whole. I say that, and I'm playing my fucking little I don't give at the same time. It was the whole. Really, I always thought to get like a smart, like a human, no, not human. What do you consider Aaron's Titan? Like
he is
not like
he's called the Attack Titan.
Sorry, not like a genre, but then like the type of Titan where you can control.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the name of it is, but like
a little name,
like it's like a conscious Titan.
Let's
you know,
call
I
him
would
a
say.
conscious Titan, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was just a gift, an ability. Like this guy has the blood to control a Titan.
Yeah.
As you go down, you kind of like get just it throws like one or two hints at you, and you finally realize, oh, you have to consume an already conscious Titan.
Yeah.
To become a conscious Titan.
Yeah.
And then wait a second, you're gonna think, where do the original conscious Titans come from?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool in the lore. We kind of find out what happened to Aaron's dad. Was he an asshole or was he right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of like I just kind of like more information kind of stuff. So that was pretty interesting. What I didn't care about was Gene. He's a little bitch. I hate him. It's just it's so hard because I think I'm personality wise, I think I'm more of the vengeful type.
The vengeful type? What do you mean by that?
And well, towards like somewhere in season 3, where they're trying to fight back for what territory was Aaron's hometown?
Trost?
No, I think Trost was the other one, wasn't it? Where they are now?
Well, they're Shinganshina, Trost, there's Wall Maria. I don't know, bro. I feel like all these names at this point are just kind of mishmashed in my head.
I apologize. That was 2 weeks ago, and I forgot fucking all of it. But Aaron's hometown, that little section, right?
Yeah.
How obviously the enemy just goes and slaughters everybody.
Yeah.
No mercy. And at the end, Jane's like, wait, hold on. Don't kill him. He's my friend. In the back of his head. And then Hanji hesitates. Okay, we're not going to kill him. And it's just like, this motherfucker killed everybody in your platoon
Yeah.
and kill hundreds from his actions, if not
Yeah.
from himself.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
I think
I'm more of the kill.
Yeah.
That's me.
I think I'm trying to, I'll play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
And thinking like, if you had spent, let's say, 3 years like in the military, right? And so you I want to say like trauma bonding type scenarios, right? Because clearly they're in high stakes scenarios constantly. And you've grown to rely on this person as like someone who is supposed to save your life and you're supposed to save their life. It's like an ingrained training at this point.
Aaron has that same thought. He looked up to Rainer.
Yeah. So like I get what you're saying, because I think from an outside perspective, it's easy to be like, clearly he's doing terrible things and like you should just get rid of him, right? But I do wonder psychologically if there is some like hard change that would happen in that scenario. I've never been in that, obviously, so I don't know.
Cut bait. He killed all my friends. And not only that, well, he was essentially playing a double spy, and he played you, dude. That's like, I mean, he played me to get. It's just
but Annie's the same way, and I'd still smash. So,
well, that's a different question. That's a conversation over there. We're not there. That's over there. We're over here.
So you're also in agreement that if it's a hot female, you're like,
no comment. No comment. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Maybe then 3 shots of whiskey and I might be able to answer that
one. Fair enough. Okay. So again, I before we dive into the whole thing, there's one other question, and I think it's a good kind of reminder of where we were from the last episode, is asking you, now that you've seen this section, what you think the plot is. I want your updated take on what you think is really the situation.
So I feel like from my first take, when you asked me that, I was like 85% on track, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was right there. Being the whole like the inside people wanted to control, the outside people wanted to kill the people inside, but like I thought they were the same people. But now we're saying that they're 2 different people. What we think.
What do you mean by 2 different people?
2 different organizations. Like, do you have the Beast organization who wants to kill humanity for some reason they think the Wall people are evil, and you have like Historia's family line who wanted to use the Titans as a way to keep the people in fear, to control them, and 2, they use their special Titan ability to control them because they wanted to consider themselves gods, right? But at this point right now, I haven't gotten. I don't think I have enough information. I'm only at the part where now the inner organization is done. Historia finally took power. There's still some church people. I don't know it seems like it's crumbled. I don't know yet. But now we have the Beast organization who still wants to kill everyone on the inside, and I can't think of one clue or anything that tells me what they want. Other than I don't know, difference of religion. Like, they obviously are okay with Titanization, and the people in the walls don't understand it or don't know about. I have no idea. It's so weird. I don't think I have enough information to make a hypothesis of what's going on outside of the wall yet. Is there something I'm missing? Is there a little nitbit?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to give anything, right? Because I don't know if you've missed anything, but to be honest, I don't know what I could say that may or may not. Yeah. So I think it's important that you're just sitting in this questioning period, because I think that's where you should be.
I am in the question. I was like, okay, now that I realize that the royal family has been debunked and the gods are God. Like, okay,
Yeah.
now there's other organization wants to kill everybody inside for, I don't know, being heathens in some way, some religious. I would assume some religious thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I missed that would tell me why. Oh. There was this whole thing, like going back to Ymir's past, right? And they were what? They were purposely titanizing um what do you call people who are bad?
Like prisoners
Prisoners
or
or
criminals, exiles.
criminals. That's and like bam, and then out over the wall you go. Right.
Mhm.
That's how Ymir was a
Yeah.
titan in the beginning, right? So there's another org dynasty out there who is very well in control. Oh, this is what I was thinking right here. They won. Oh, this is here flashback. Here we go. Yeah, after that flashback with the Emir, they wanted to get Historia. For some reason, their blood is important to Titanization. I don't know why. It's just happening with their blood because they can make the what's the Titan that can erase memories, like
They can erase memories. Are you talking about like the founding titan?
the founding Titans. They're
Yeah.
the founding Titans. I would assume that they're the founding blood. Like they made Titans off of their blood. They wanted her for her blood. Oh shit! What am I going with this?
Was there a moment in which there was like a flashback to the royal family stuff in this section for you?
I can only remember the Ymir, where she was guilty of something. They were titanizing criminals, and they were just pushing them off the wall.
Mm-hmm. I thought there was
as
a
a
section
punishment
in the cavern that maybe would have been like a flashback, and I can't remember specifically to it, but I would say this is if you see flashback scenes,
yeah, they're very important for sure.
Yep, and look for a character that should not be there. That's all I'll say.
Fuck that.
So you might not notice it, but it's like it's an interesting plot device that they used.
Another foreshadowing device.
Yeah, that I'm really curious to see if once you see it, like what your thoughts will be. Yeah, there's so much in this fucking show. It's insane.
It's one of those where you have to go back and like, oh, he was there the whole time.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty wild. So yeah, so okay, so that's where you're at. You're let's summarize in like a couple of sentences what you think right now story wise, and you admit you don't have all the pieces, right? So we can do like a best guess, but so you're thinking, if I'm hearing correctly, that there's an outer wall group and an inner wall group.
Yes.
That
unrelated,
okay, and that they both to some extent have some ability to create titans.
Yes, and I almost feel like the outer wall group is now when it's running out of that ability. I don't know. Oh no, it's not even. I'm not even making sense anymore. I don't know what they want. I honestly don't know what they want.
Yeah, but
I know they wanted Historia.
Yeah,
and the only reason why I could think they want Historia is for her blood to make titans, but I don't know why they want to make more titans.
But then it also sounded like your other guess was something based on religion.
I feel like it has to be. It's like they okay, it has to be. It's too deep. That's all I got.
Okay.
Maybe like 20 minutes down, I'll blurt something.
Okay. All right. We'll stay there. Like, cause I think I think it's a pretty good spot. I think it's a good. It's still not a full summarization, right, of like what would encapsulate the story, but I think there's some pieces there to work with, and then as you think or ideas populate, we can maybe at the end we'll piece together fully what you think going into this next section. Okay, so I will say for myself, like my personal favorite, almost of a big chunk of the series, I love Kenny Ackerman. I think that character is such an interesting add into the story, because one, I think it changed the dynamic of
Levi.
the Titans being the only villain per se, right? I mean, obviously there's like the inner political system that is difficult, but this is the first time they're being
human,
actually attacked by someone within their own grouping of people, right? Because it wasn't a Titan that attacked, it was just a person, a human. And not only that, but an exceptionally skilled person, right? Because I think in my head I thought, okay, these scouts are the guys who know how to use ODM gear, and so really like there's not another person, because even we saw with like military police before that they were basically just like they were talented in training, but they were like stooges, they just chilled.
But yeah, to add to that, the Kenny was also essentially part of the military.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's, I was like, oh my goodness, they were just fucking around the whole time.
Yeah, and he was like, I think they called his group like the anti-personnel control,
he was like a
whatever.
branch off of that.
Yeah. So like I thought that was such an interesting concept, because it to me made this story feel more real and more believable, because it just added another element to like humans cannot exist in a space without infighting. I feel like it has to exist in some way.
The whole reveal that the military was doing shady shit behind the back, right? They killed the priest behind the back because they knew that he was talking shit. He was talking something behind their backs. Like, they're in it.
Yeah. And I love the fight scene. I love seeing them like going through the city just with the dude, like with Kenny's group using a totally different weapon style. Like that. I remember seeing that and being like blown away, being like, oh my God, this is so great to like just see the conceptual change to how weaponry even works, right?
The whole anti 3D gear was their set for whatever reason. Even though the 3D gear seems more superior, they were still the anti 3D gear group. Or equipment.
Yep. So I love that section. I think for me, the drawback I think I had was in like learning the history of Bloodline, because I think the first time I watched it, I don't think I maybe understood the depth of how important that is.
The history of Bloodline?
Historia. So Krista, right, who's his Historia.
Historia's Bloodline.
I think I was kind of like, okay, like I know this is important, but like it's going to get re-harped on throughout the story of like why it's super critical. And I think without knowing that the first time I watched it, I was like, coming off of season 1 or waiting like however many years in between, I was like, come on, get back to the good stuff. And that's why
because they were all like, oh, we need to capture his Krista before we knew her name, right? Like, why do you want her for? Like the church was like, oh, this one girl you have to go like get before they get. I was like, her out of nowhere? It's like, oh, okay. And then the season they go into her pretty deep and into why she was important to the whole people inside the walls.
Yeah. So I think those are my highs and my lows. And for that being a low, again, I'm like, this story is obviously incredible if that's the low, you know? So okay.
The whole Kyron was like,
was there anything that like outwardly shocked you in this section?
I think the Kenny and Levi relation that shocked me at the end. Not like, but it was just kind of like a nice little twist at the end. I didn't realize it. And it was like, oh shit. It was his uncle the whole time. I thought that was very hard. I almost teared up at that point. I was like, oh, he took care of his sister's kid, without even saying anything until the end. He did say at the end. I think that was the only like shocking, if anything, heartbreaking part of the whole. Well, from what I've seen so far. That's all I can think of. Anything? How about for you? What did you find so like shocking?
I mean, I would say the shocking thing was the decision that gets made at the end of the section.
Oh, I need to shit about that.
Like I don't know. I don't think that I have the same reverence for that character that a lot of people do. So I think that's part of it, because to me, I'm like, you already
I think I already
have Hange, who kind of serves a similar role and is cooler.
but we knew that Hange wasn't as good though, in terms of like cleverness.
I don't know. I feel like Hange is pretty fucking clever.
I don't. I don't think there was any part of the series that hinted at that showed her cleverness.
I kind of feel
I'm
like
not
it's
saying she's like a stupid character. I'm just saying,
but she's like the chief scientist.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. Scientists are stupid.
I feel like Armin gets mad plot armor in this show. Like he should have died like 7 times already.
He should have died in the fucking beginning instead of.
So I think that is the one thing in this show that I think consistently. The hell was that?
That was my camera lid. Sorry about that. My lens lid.
It sounded like something like snapping.
It kind of did.
Oh, okay. So wow, that threw me off.
Armin plot armor. He should have died a long time ago. Oh shit. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I guess I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with it now. But I feel like the decision there, I found more value from the other character. But I guess just rereading that summary where it said that the choice to make the decision, and this is a spoiler, I'm going to give a heads up. This is a spoiler warning for anyone who you haven't. I'm going to do a massive spoiler warning for the beginning, because these discussions are spoilers. Like if you haven't watched the show and you're watching this, like you're going to get spoiled. Like, but I want to discuss the ins and outs and the details here. So it's important for us to talk about these things. So the decision to choose Armin to get the Colossal Titan over Erwin, I don't think I remembered that decision happening because Levi heard Erwin mumbling about his childhood at the end and felt like it was mercy to let him pass. Because that's what I just reread at the end of that summary and I guess that wasn't what I took. So to me, I'm like, you're going to take away the tactical genius of Erwin for Armin, who has had a few clever moments, but I don't feel like, again, that he discovered things so extensive that it like made Hange look not like more intellectual.
I'm basically on the same page. I say that it should have been Erwin instead of Armin. When that happened, I was super sad. I was gonna cry, but I was like, it has to be Armin. He's gotta go. Bye, buddy.
Yeah.
Everyone needs you to go. Plot armor. What's the main character's name?
Aaron.
Aaron needs some emotional power boost or whatever.
Yeah.
But in terms of like strategy, Erwin is up here. Like he's got that.
Yeah.
Armin was in a league of his own right there.
Yeah.
But Armin can't replace Erwin.
No, and I feel like Erwin could have done so much with that power. So I feel like Armin is like so tentatively worried about everything, and I'm like, just to give him Titan power. I don't know, maybe that's the right decision because it's someone who outwardly doesn't like or enjoy the idea of killing anybody, but I'm like, I just saw that the tactical use being much higher with Erwin.
Yeah. Not even talking about his usage with his Titan power, just keeping him alive for the sake of humanity would have been a huge benefit over Armin.
Yeah. So in this section, speaking of just like the Titans, so we discover Reiner. Oh, what was that moment like? Because you might have read this in the manga, but the moment where Reiner and Bertolt tell Eren that they're the Colossal and Armor Titan. Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember that in the manga. But it was, I remember it more so from the anime now.
It's like crazy to me how
super nonchalant
that moment is. They're just like, yeah, I'm the Armor Titan.
But then like everyone, it's crazy how like everyone already knew what was happening, and Mikasa was just kind of right there, and she was waiting. Right, She's ready to fucking pull that trigger. And then I already figured out his name. The main character,
Aaron.
Aaron. I don't know why I keep on forgetting. He's just playing stupid the whole time. It's like, you look real stupid.
Yeah. I would say intelligence is not Aaron's strongest. Characteristic.
He doesn't have a good poker face. How it's portrayed.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, going off of this, my other question would be, I remember kind of when I was watching the show, feeling like it was a rarity to see, as we talked about, like the conscious Titan, right? And now, even from this section, you've discovered, obviously Aaron, you've discovered Amir, you've discovered Reiner, Bertolt, Annie, the Beast Titan, and at the very end of this section, you discovered the Cart Titan, right? I think when I watched this show, I did not foresee there being this many special Titans. And so I think that changed the show a lot for me, because it became like a war of attrition within just the non-conscious Titans to now being, whoa, this is a way more specialized fight, because now there's all these variables that are starting to grow.
I think for me, it was very obvious. Once Armin came in, I was like, oh, okay, if this one little bitch somehow was the conscious, there's going to be hundreds. Like,
what do you mean when Armin?
Sorry, not Armin. Aaron became conscious. I was like, okay, there's gonna be a whole city full of them, because I just how I see it. Okay. But what really threw me for the loop is that I mentioned this earlier, that to be a conscious Titan, you need to consume a conscious Titan. So like, where did those original ones come from? How do you make one? That's the big question.
Yeah.
And then two,
well, do you need to consume the Titan, or do you need to consume the serum? And if you can't consume the serum, you have to consume the
no, you have to
current
consume the serum first, right? Because and then you need to be a dumb Titan, and as the dumb Titan, you need to consume the conscious Titan. I don't know if in human form or in Titan form, but everything's been in human form so far when they were being consumed.
Okay.
I know that when they were in the cavern, they were saying that if Historia were to turn, something about you needed to drink the spinal fluid off of the Titan.
Yeah.
So it seems like everything is based in the spine.
Yeah.
Or in terms of like, well, however this Titan consciousness forms. But what kind of baffled me was when they were when the scouts were pinched. After Aaron, what side of the wall did he first they closed out the outside hole, right? And they were gonna come in, but it turns out that the enemies are already inside the inner wall, right? And they're pinching them at the hole. Like, oh, actually took me a second to like, where the hell are they? And they're inside. But then what really baffled me was that there was like 20 or 50 Titans that Titanized right there on the spot, and it seemed like they were all dumb Titans too. So like someone made them purposely inject themselves with the serum and just turn to dumb Titans to go like attack. I don't know if they were dumb or what. This is one thing that is confusing, because there was that one episode where they're fighting at the castle, and the Beast Titan was giving orders, but the Titan didn't quite understand, not understand, but didn't fully comply to the order.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he has the ability. It's not like, it doesn't seem like it's like Aaron's commander ability, where the Beast can just give out a command and they'll listen. So I don't know if it's commanding a dumb Titan, or they were actually smart Titans that were attacking the scouts when they're
So I mean, I think that will get discussed. I think you will get more understanding to that scenario. But but I felt like the show swung so much in terms of again, I do truly like still believe that this show constantly gave me plot twist after plot twist, and I think the expectation of what was going to be happening was shifting every 10 episodes, and it was in, I would say, to me personally, in a more entertaining way than Full Metal Alchemist was, because I think I spent so long trying to figure out what Full Metal Alchemist was really about that it was like distracting to me. But in
Uh-huh.
this show, I think I kept thinking, "Oh, now I know what this is about."
It's pretty
And then
straightforward.
it kept being like, "Nope, you're not right. It's this," you know? And so like
Uh-huh.
my mind kept being like, oh, what? Like, this is like, I keep being so confident in knowing what this thing is going to be or what the next action is going to be. And then the show totally derails that. And I found that actually really, really interesting because of how well done that was versus for me, for Full Metal Alchemist, I was like, I felt like they just kept holding out information,
Yeah.
you know, to
Well,
make me
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
know, versus this is like, I'm giving you information and making you overly confident about what you think this is, but
But
I'm not giving you
it's just
everything.
a tiny little piece, and you're still wrong.
Yes. So I love that about this show, and I think
Uh-huh.
it does such a good job slowly giving you those pieces and those questions,
Yeah,
right?
I do
Um,
enjoy that.
yeah. And I think that's what keeps me hanging out, because as a story person per se, it's like an addiction for me to try and know what's really happening or what this is really about, or seeing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
foreshadowing details. And there's just so much of it in this show that I really enjoyed. Um, okay. So guess going off of that, so did you find the relationship between Amir and Historia as impactful as I think the show tried to make it land?
I think I can understand it. I think I understood it, and I just accepted it. I didn't think it was too corny. I
Yeah.
understand that, as somebody who, I guess I can't really put my, foot in her shoes,
Yeah.
but as somebody who was living in a dream for 60 years, and then getting her essentially getting your humanity back,
Yeah.
um, not just because she ate someone else that was conscious,
Yeah.
but in terms of being finally accepted as a human after so long.
Yeah.
I understand why she had that loyalty towards her.
Yeah. Do you feel like, is there a certain relationship in the show, and we can go off this tangent and have you, you know, make fun of me the same way my coworker did with the Mikasa Levi situation. I refuse to dig into this so far, but I get that there is a very loose last name connection. Whatever, fine, move on. But in terms of, is
It's
there,
fucking gross.
that's for you, Dan. All right. That's for you. So I guess, but not even in terms of like a romantic relationship, but is there a specific character to character relationship that you find is the most oh man, I'm trying to look for the right word here. Like the most, I don't want to say convincing, because that's still not the right word, but like the most to you like revered relationship that you watch on for.
I will say that Mikasa and Aaron's relationship is absolutely fucking annoying.
Yes, thank you. That's
Because
why I hate that relation, like that shipping.
every episode, Mikasa is like, Aaron, Aaron, shut the fuck up, please. I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah,
I
just
get
don't.
it. I get it. But
Yeah.
like, it's like every shonen with Bleach and Orihime, Ichigo and then Sasuke-kun. It's like, shut the fuck. It's like, I understand in this case they finally make a female character strong, but they make them so dependent on a male protagonist. It's so like, you can beat this fucker up anytime you want.
Yeah.
Just own it. Why you gotta be such a little Aaron? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
So I purposely hate it just because of how they make her so what's the word I'm looking for?
Like codependent
Uh,
almost.
uh it's like that's all she thinks. I understand. I understand why she feels that way,
Yeah.
but like that's maybe a little too much for me. a bit too much for me.
I'm 100%, and that's why when everyone puts them as like a relationship, to me it just annoys me, and I think that's why I wanted in my head her to be with someone more like Levi, right? Pretend that they're not related, you know, pretend they're not related.
I still don't. I wouldn't ship those two.
I just find that like so much more interesting, and I want to see the dynamic of those two.
No dynamic between those two.
Well, yeah, but if there was, I think if you had the two of them being like straight balling and like they were like the leaders, like the commanders of something, and they had to like share that responsibility, I think that would be really fascinating.
I think in terms of leadership, they would mesh well, just being leaders.
Yeah.
Personality wise, I don't think in this what we've seen so far they at all mesh. I'm still on the Annie and Armin train.
No, I refuse.
Their personalities are right.
Refuse to give this to you.
Annie's so into Armin.
I will not.
So into Armin.
You're so right. Oh my god.
Oh, you saw the good in me. I love you, Armin.
I can't with you. I would rather someone stab me than that relationship be a thing. I can't.
That would be the happiest ending to this series for me.
Oh my god. No, that is horrible.
I don't care about what Bartholomew. I can't say his name.
Bertolt?
I cannot say his name. I don't care if he had a crush on her or whatever. Fuck you. I don't like you. It's all Armin and Annie.
Okay. All right. So my okay. I think the most, and I don't even mean a female to male relationships exclusively in this situation. Like to me, I feel like the coolest group of people or a two-person relationship that I find in this show might be Levi and Hange or Levi and Erwin.
It's I'm thinking about this. I think it's more. I would agree more so with the Erwin and Levi.
And Levi, I just think like. But I don't know. Surprising that someone as weird as Hange is such a trusted advisor between, you know, her and Levi.
See, I think it's more of the she rose in the ranks and Levi just trusts her at this point, where there's something about Levi and Armin that we still don't quite understand. Like
Erwin?
Oh, Erwin and Levi. that we I don't know if I missed, like, I don't know how Erwin saved Levi from the streets, and clearly that event made him loyal to Erwin.
But I almost find that less interesting as a driver for character development, because it's like that's expected. That's like normal. Like, oh, I saved your life and now you're loyal to me.
It was kind of lame. Yeah.
Getting like to the point where like Hange or Hanje or whatever the fuck, she's a psychopath. Like she is hilarious, but she's a psychopath. And the fact that she that she has built this trust and relationship with basically the leaders of this entire force, to me is much more of an interesting character dynamic and development than the other one.
I wouldn't say she has a psychopath. I think she more has a
just wait. She's a psychopath.
I think I honestly would have liked to see more of Kenny and Levi.
I agree, 100%.
Not because of their relation, but their dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, when you're first introduced in there, just fuck Levi just wanted to kill him for whatever reason. I don't even know why he was so angry at him, other than why did you leave me at the end?
Yeah.
But then it would have been kind of cool to see them like go further with whatever dynamic they had.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if they dig any further into that, and I don't off the top of my head remember. I'll honestly have to re-go through some of the episodes. I don't remember
because like as Kenny was dying, Levi was like, "Why did you leave me that day?" And I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, I don't either. I agree with you. Those are the character relationships that I find infinitely more interesting than the like basic like I saved your life and now you're loyal to me type one. So
like I understand like they're essentially family, uncle and nephew. But like Kenny didn't say shit until he died.
Yeah.
Just because he wanted to let him know, I guess. Not because he wanted to be in dead.
Yeah. But I mean, Kenny is also, I feel like, clearly a sociopath.
Oh.
Like he relishes in killing
his
people.
Personality, yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like those people, that's another side of them. that's not like who they are.
Yeah.
Because why would a sociopath care about his sister's kid?
Yes, but I don't think that a sociopath exclusively doesn't have like feelings for other people. I think it's just I'd have to look at the clinical definition because maybe that is literally how much it breaks down. But I think of a sociopath more like a Hannibal Lecter, right? Hannibal Lecter still cared about people,
Hmm.
but it was that he had no problem killing and enjoying doing that. So I wonder what that psychological breakdown is. I'm not obviously a
I see
psychiatrist, so
it
I don't know,
more
but
as a fucked up hobby. A
killing people?
hobby that doesn't go with social norms. Like, I'm not
Okay.
saying it's good. I'm not
Yeah.
like condoning it.
Yeah.
By the way, there is a serial killer in Texas right now that
Oh,
is like drowning people in the lake and they still can't fucking find them.
damn. I haven't even heard of this.
Lady something lake. Yeah, there is pretty sad. But like
downer moment right there. Jeez,
I'm
Steve.
sorry. I'm like, hey, public awareness. If you're going to Austin, Texas, you go to Lady Something Lake Park, there's a serial killer hunting out there right now.
Okay, fair enough.
It's November 23, 2024. He's still out there.
We come back to this in like 10 years and they still haven't found him, and we're like, we knew.
We're talking about like 20 people at least so far.
That's wild, bro.
But I think it's like, yeah, he's psychotic, but like it doesn't take away that he cared for his sister's kid.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I don't like, I think to me personally, and like, again, I could be wrong. I don't know the clinical definition of it, but I don't assume a sociopath is incapable of like having care for other people. Yeah. It's just that like their drive for what they can like take away the empathetic side of like worrying about murdering someone.
Right.
Okay. So how did you, I'm trying to dig into some of like the bigger hit moments of this section that you went through, because you went through a large chunk. Is so the whole situation with Historia's family. I know that we had kind of talked a little bit prior to hopping onto this recording, but that you were like, what was your frustration with it in specific? Like you didn't understand why they didn't just outright kill that whole side of the concern.
If I was part of the group who was trying to overtake the population or organization, right, or the kingdom, part of the royal family, why leave loose ends? They essentially left the previous king, the sitting king, and his heir alive. See, I knew it was. I knew I was heir alive, and like, why? It's a little screwed up, but
wasn't it like hidden? Like I'm trying to remember exactly the moment, but didn't he brought her, or no, he got them to agree to keep her alive by like bringing her to like the countryside, right? And being like, you can never leave the countryside or some shit like that.
There were, I think he was hiding her there, but they were gonna kill her at the spot right there because they killed the mom right there.
Okay.
Essentially, well, I'm not gonna say the word, but she was not the wife.
Yeah.
And then
but like a mistress.
That's a nice way to say it. Okay. The mistress. They killed her right there, and they're gonna kill Historia. When then the king was like, "Wait, what if I send her to the military? Would you be okay with that?" They're okay with that. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why'd you?
I do wonder. So in that moment, did they know that he had the Titan like family history stuff?
Dude, that I don't even know,
because I feel like to me like that's the difference maker. Because if you didn't, it's like honestly, who gives a shit if she goes to the military? Like if no one's gonna believe that she's part of the royal line, then like what harm does that really have?
Or why does it even matter at that point? If she is part of the royal line.
So I have to assume in that moment that there was not the understanding that this person could theoretically take over, those types of powers or whatever.
Even have that. Well, the thing is, it sounded like the nobles knew of that power because they knew they couldn't be mind wiped, and they knew that everyone else could be.
Yeah,
and that's why they were talking down on whoever was being on. Oh, they were talking down on that. What's the equivalent to Attorney General? He hated him.
Pixis.
I don't remember his name. It was the old white guy that we see at Aaron's hearing the first time.
I think it's Pixis.
Pixis, is that his name?
The general guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the bald guy.
Oh,
I think higher than him.
Higher than
He
him.
was the judge that was determining if Eren was either gonna be killed or where. Oh no, he was trying to determine if either he was gonna go to the military or go to the scouts.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Remember when Levi beat the shit out of him in the courtroom?
Yes. Yeah.
It was that judge.
All right, let me Google. Judge. Sorry for the keyboard noises. Judge for Eren's trial. Let's see what we got here. We got. This is not helping me right now.
Pixis is the
Pixis is the general. Yeah.
General. So it's above him. It's almost like, I won't say Lieutenant General, but
Judge Zachary. So yeah, I don't remember this being an important character, to be honest.
Judge what?
Zachary.
Okay, where was I going with this? What did I just say?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, because when they were overthrowing the fake royalty bloodline, the nobles essentially, and then he was like, Judge Zachary hated this one guy particularly, and he was like, I want to turn you to a fucking piece of artwork and walk you naked to the street. Essentially, it was like he strapped his noble upside down, naked, dick out, and something shoved in his mouth. I'm gonna walk you down the street, and the noble was like, you're not gonna remember any of this, and you don't even know what you're doing. But when I get back into power, I'm gonna fuck you up, and you're not even gonna know why.
Yeah,
because the noble knew that when he comes back to power via the Titan or the foundation,
founding.
The founding Titan, the founding Titan was gonna erase everyone's memory besides the nobles.
Yeah.
So the nobles were definitely in on it.
Yeah. And there's so much to that dynamic, and like as the story expands, right? Like it will even, I don't want to say even crazier things, but like just understanding how deep this really goes, right? I think will become more apparent. Okay, so I'm trying to think. The other major thing that I kind of want to touch on is the new weapons, right? Is the thunder spears. So there's the guns with Kenny's group, but also the thunder spears are the new weapon that the scouts.
More effective.
Yeah. How did you feel, I guess, about the new weapon addition?
They were lame as fuck.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, oh, you have now you have bazookas. But
what's wrong with bazookas?
I was like, oh, okay. It was like, okay, so like you started off with short range swords.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they went to Kenny with their little pistol cannons, like hand cannons.
Yeah.
But they weren't strong enough to pierce.
Yeah, to do anything to like a Titan. Yeah.
Right. And now you have something right in the middle. Then that was like a heavy artillery close range, and then you had to run away to set off. I was like,
well, you just have to pull the pin.
Yes, and that was because you couldn't be close. Because if you were, you
want to get exploded,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so they put essentially a bomb. It was a bomb. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That could fire a rocket launcher. I was like, okay, whatever.
Wow, I don't understand why you're hating on a rocket launcher.
But the whole thing about like how during Eren's training they developed this second weapon. Like, how did you get from Eren trying to crystallize or armorize, and then you go from hand bazookas? I didn't care what that. And I was like, well, that's a weird correlation. And I was like, oh, you guys didn't think about this sooner? Did you not have enough gunpowder? What's the material you used here?
But again,
from
I
Eren's
think
training
for
developed that.
I agree with you there. Like, I don't know if his becoming a Titan specifically spurred, or like how that spurred. But again, remember that the Titans primarily that they went after, outside of the Colossal and the Armored from the first day, were just the dumb ones. That they didn't need anything but slicing it. It really wasn't until the addition of like Annie and all these other ones I thought like, oh my god, dude, like we can no longer rely on these swords as to be serviceable weapons for these Titans. Like we need something else. Because they have
Yes.
the wall cannons, they've had those. So like
Yeah.
they could have to me, I'm like, this probably was a project that I would imagine had already
But
been
I
somewhat in the
think
works.
the wall cannons were still ineffective, correct? They still couldn't
Yeah.
kill Titans.
Yes. You had to like impact but
You have to
they
cut
had
the
the
mate
issue.
off.
They had the issue with the Armor Titan and the
Armor, for
Colossal where
sure.
they could not get to this thing
Yeah.
because the Colossal would like superheat steam and you couldn't get in.
Blow
And
away
then
bullets.
yeah, and then the Armor Titan like it was
too
straight
tough.
armor, so like, you couldn't cut through it. So it made sense to me, and I thought it was a logical next step. And I liked. To me, I just felt like it added a next step of intensity for the show of like the combat style. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a cool weapon choice to add. I don't know what else you would do. Like, could you think of a better weapon type that would have been a more interesting addition?
I would have thought that they would have tried to utilize Eren more. I was thinking that they were, in terms of humanity, they had no resources left. Like this is all they had was their 3D gear and their blades.
The ODM gear?
The ODM gear, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it. This is, you only have so much resources. And now all of a sudden you have bazookas that are kind of remote triggered. I'm like, where the fuck was this before 10 years ago? Like, you guys, like I said, like it came out of Eren's training. That's what they were saying. I'm like, how did you use parts of his flaked off crystals to make it?
I mean, no, but I could think of it being like, okay, we need a strategy for like if this because Annie could turn into a straight crystal, right? Which they couldn't penetrate.
Right.
So like I think they're like, okay, we're now finding that these Titans are having the ability to harden. And we need some way of responding to that ability to harden. So like to me that tracks, like that makes sense that you can't use your swords anymore. So you need some other variable type weapon
I feel like
to try and deal with the hardening.
I feel like they would have used what they had on hand to do that already. Right? So they wouldn't go for the minimum effort to kill the Titans. They would have already been using those thunder spears.
Yeah, but I feel like prior to the Colossal Titan, right, it does feel like the scout line was like really not cared about in that way. Like I imagine they were like, yeah, we're gonna send you out in the woods. Like we're not gonna give you fucking rockets.
Didn't the scouts develop it?
No, but I'm saying prior to the Titans coming, yeah. I don't know if I agree with you that I don't think it's specifically Eren that spurs the technology development. I feel like it's maybe they did, but like I think in my head I justify it by being like, yeah, clearly how the hell are you gonna cut through the Armor Titan?
Maybe I'm taking it. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I know that they're referencing the whole hammer thing. That was inspired by Well, that was essentially developed via Eren. Right, because he encases the hole and they fucking make this huge hammer jack that falls down on the Titan. And yeah, I see what you mean in terms of development. Okay, they finally had a situation where they need to develop something new.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know. I didn't care.
I think they could have done a better job, like showing the evolution of the development, maybe.
I rather would have seen them utilize Eren more, and it would have showed more of the humanity's desperateness and like in terms of resources.
I just feel like Eren constantly lets them down.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the whole part of it, right?
But so like that's my thing. Like, why would you put all your faith in Eren if he can't half the time do what you want him to do?
Because that's all they got, and that's what I was thinking. Like,
yeah, I definitely.
You had gunpowder that could fucking blow off heads this whole time.
I mean, they had cannons
via fucking hand launchers,
but they had cannons, so it's like that's not like a new technology per se.
They knew that the cannons didn't work.
But they knew the cannons functioned as a suppressant, right? They knew the cannons wouldn't kill them, but it acted as a suppressant.
But like, wouldn't someone be like, "Oh, why don't we just put these on remote launchers and throw them in the back?" And
maybe they needed Hange to come up with that.
That's what they needed.
For everyone not watching the video, Steven just made a jerk off motion. All right, we'll move on. I like the Thunder Spirit, so I'll leave it there. All right, so what else? So I guess before we go back into the end of what your assumption is, because we're already kind of at the hour mark here, what were your thoughts on the Beast Titan?
First, excuse me. Oh, my voice. First introduction was, I believe, at the tower. It's like, oh my goodness, this guy's smart. Clearly, he was a human. But why was he so damn like OP in the beginning? Right at that point, just sniping guys off the tower. I mean, they were easy targets. I guess you can say that. But going down to I don't know. I guess my overall thought of the Beast Titan was just cruel. He clearly had a vendetta against the people in the wall, and I don't understand why. I think it comes like I said, religion, right? It's some his religion, his outside organization's religion, somehow conflicts with the religion with the wall that we're in right now. And I just don't know.
Who, if you just take a wild stab at this, who do you think is the Beast Titan?
This is what that doesn't make sense, because we see the dad transform into the Beast Titan, and then Eren eats him. I'm like, what the holy fuck? And there's the same Beast Titan with this guy. I'm like, it kind of looks like him, like the dad. I'm like, but he's already eaten. How can there be another of the same Titan that was already eaten? I'm so that's like I'm lost. I need to. I have no theory.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's anything in the back or beforehand that would suggest such a thing. I mean, Ymir eats our Annie's friends, whatever, and she maintains her form. Armin eats Bartharo, whatever.
Bertolt. What can you say his name?
I cannot say his name. Bertolt. And then I think he maintains his form. Eren obviously maintains his form. He's not the Beast Titan as we saw his dad was before, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that's it. I don't know who this guy is.
So no guess.
Other than Historia's uncle.
Okay.
That's just like out there.
Yeah. Okay. No, we'll leave it there. I don't want to pursue you in the direction. I just wanted to prod to see if you had any wild guesses.
I have no clue.
Okay. So, all right. Where is there any other questions or things that you're actively, I guess, thinking about from this?
One thing that did kind of irritate me or kind of baffled me, but it was answered, was when Historia's dad essentially was forced to Titanize. But it was the way that he Titanized, and it was by essentially consuming the serum via mouth. He essentially drank it off the floor.
Yeah.
And he Titanized. It's like, oh, why is everyone getting shots then? What's the point?
Why is everyone getting shots?
Yeah, injected with the serum.
Wait, let me understand that question better. Why are you saying, like, why isn't everyone just wanting to get shots, or why is this becoming a thing that everyone's getting shots?
Why is before that portion everyone was being injected with the serum instead of just?
What do you mean everyone was being injected? Clarify that part for me, because I think that's where I'm
injected via a shot.
No, I get that, but where else do you remember moments where people were getting shots?
Ymir's background flashback.
Okay.
I think you look at Eren's when he finally remembers his dad, and he gets a shot. Bam.
Okay.
I think after what's said and done, when you talk to Kenny, Kenny and Levi's little situation, right? He has the little case with serum.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a syringe there with a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my assumption that everyone has to get you need to take a shot to become a Titan.
Okay, so that was the question: is why do you need to get a shot to become a Titan?
Yeah, but
Okay.
yes. So
Okay.
here he just consumes it, but then a little while after, you see Eren just bite the glass and drinks the armor, and he takes the armor ability.
Mm-hmm.
But I think later on it specifies that because he drank it instead of getting like a shot, he didn't properly titanize.
Okay.
I don't remember who says that, but I remember it being said. I was like, oh,
I'm actually kind of curious. I kind of do want to look back on this because that is a good question, right? Because if the whole idea was you could just drink it, why wouldn't you just drink it?
But apparently, getting a shot
properly
properly
transforms.
transforms you.
Okay.
Like you have a better chance. I would guess.
Okay.
That's the part that was kind of weird. The whole Eren just assuming, not assuming, just assimilating the armor ability just because he drank the serum.
Mhm.
Well, that implies that somebody out there obviously is making the serum off of something, and
Mhm.
not only that, they're good enough to customize the serum. So there has to be a Titan out there that has all the fucking abilities. The Foundation Titan, right? This person
Founding.
has the founding Titan. I believe had all the abilities, right? The whole mind wipe, the whole armor. I think or they had, because I think if you were to eat the Titan that had an ability, you would take their ability. Wasn't that discussed?
That seems to be the trend, right? Because you see Reiner trying to eat Eren.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was the thing because they wanted. Yes, that was the whole thing. So there has to be someone out there, a Mega Titan, that's just eating all the conscious Titans and getting all their abilities, and he's just souped. He's just like, I, I like going back to your question earlier. Like, what do you think about what's going on? There's gonna be another city out there who's like using the Titans the same way as Historia's family was using the Titans to control people because they were gods. They're thinking that they're a different religion, a different god, but they're like more supreme as the conflict of interest or conflict of religion.
Okay. So break that down for me because I think
I kind of went on a little tangent, a big
yeah,
jump
yeah.
there.
And I want to make sure I connect fully what you're trying to piece together. Like I want if you had to do in a paragraph or less what you now think is the story, what would you say?
There's at least one other organization out there,
And
maybe
you're
kingdom,
preferencing religion, right?
that let's hold that in the air right now. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're using religion as a conflict of interest between the two organizations.
Okay.
And I would assume it's kind of the same situation as we're in now. They're using the Titans a bit more freely. I think it's more part of their culture, I would guess, to
Okay.
just turn bad people into Titans and have them go off and I don't know, get out of the wall for some reason. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's somebody's secret. Hence, Ymir's story is still like they're clearly doing this on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is making this serum off of
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly okay with using it secret or public. I don't know. But I think it's the same fight. They just either want to. Oh, what do they want? What do they want? The wall? Oh, I just confused myself. What do they want to kill everybody? But why? I don't know. I don't have a why.
Yeah.
I see the conflict of interest. But I don't know why they want to do it. Are they trying to take the people for their kingdom as they did back in the old days? and like brainwash them too. Like, okay, now you're my people. Now you're my slaves. Live in my country and be my slave.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of my only theory right now.
Okay.
They just want to take more people in to enslave them.
Okay.
Because there's some sort of Omega Titan there that can brainwash people too. The same as Historia's family. Unless they wanted to eat Historia's family and gain that ability. That's why they wanted Historia.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of actually makes a little bit more sense too. Fuck. It's kind of it's that's where I'm teetering.
Okay. I mean, I think it's good. I think that's a good spot to be in, that you're still trying to grasp everything that's happening and putting the pieces together, right? So,
But the whole Beast Titan shit, I don't understand. Like, how is there another of the same beast? Unless that memory was false and he ate somebody else. That's the only. And then Aaron's dad got eaten by somebody else. That's the only thing regarding Aaron. I can't wait to watch the next fight. It's been like 2 weeks. I'm itching to just finish this.
So do you think that you're going to be able to watch the 9 episodes of Arcane before continuing with this, or do you think you're like, I have to keep watching this first?
Because I've already taken 2 weeks off, I can do Arcane right now.
Okay.
Because I'm already on a break, and I think this is a good kind of recap on what I've just watched.
Yeah,
I don't think we missed much.
I think we went through. I think we went through some of the major moments there for sure. Yeah.
I don't think we missed anything too big. I mean, there's minor things that probably gripes about, like Jean being a bitch, but
okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shoot through Arcane this weekend.
Yeah. So I think the plan, we'll see if this works, but the plan is going to be next week. For the first time ever, we'll have actually reviewed something relatively recent. So we'll probably do a season 2 recap or review of Arcane next week, because the last 3 episodes dropped last night at midnight or tonight at midnight, whatever way you want to say it. Yeah. And so we'll go through that, and then after that week, we'll dive back into what I would reverently say is the second half of the season, because we're into the 56th episode of Attack on Titan, and I think there's roughly 120-ish episodes. So we're basically at that halfway mark, essentially.
A bit more, yeah.
Yeah, that third and fourth season are involved. Let me just verify that, but I'm pretty sure that's the episode total. Let's see here. I could be way off, but I'm pretty sure.
There's one spoiler point that I think so. Like, when it happened, the whole internet erupted. So I think I know what's gonna happen at a certain point.
Oh, I lied. There's 94 episodes.
So, I'm more than halfway through.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to race
just
through
barely more than halfway.
I'm just trying to race through a certain spoiler point, and I think I'll be happy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine as an anime fan, it'd be very hard to not be spoiled from the show, because it's so everywhere. Yeah.
I think, but the thing is, when it happened, everyone just let loose. I'm like, why'd you guys even? That's not even fair. Give me a break.
Yeah, but that's because you want to wait until literally the entirety of a show is out before watching it. So that's kind of on you, my guy.
I have a shit memory, dude. I gotta just binge the shit one time and boom.
Yeah, it's funny because like this show, like I told you, is in my top 5. But even just going through this section again, I'm like, man, I still feel like there's a lot that like I just don't retain. You watch so many shows that it's like your brain kind of filters what it really remembers and what kind of smaller moments it doesn't. So I always find that fascinating when we're going through these shows to see what I retained versus what I didn't hold on to as much, because sometimes the really, really amazing moments of the show somehow are not what I retained,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always fascinating to kind of re-go through that stuff. All right. Well, is there anything else before we sign off for this guy?
No, I think that's all I got. I think all my griefs that Jean's a bitch, and that's all.
Okay. And Mikasa and Levi is totally kosher.
Oh no. You sleep on whatever bed you want to sleep on, dude. That's That's
At
fucking gross.
At this point now, I feel like that has to just be the shtick. Like I think it's like one of those where I just need to embrace the abhorrent nature of it to other people,
and
because
there's a word for it, and it's called incest.
yeah, they're not even blood related. I'm not even gonna go through it. Whatever. All right, so we're signing off. We'll see you guys hopefully next week with Arcane season 2 review, and we'll see you then. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, hang out here. You're at 92%.
Beautiful.
Oh, almost 1 hour and 15 minutes on the dot.
Dude, how do you come up with these questions like on the fly? How do you do this?
What do you mean?
You're just so good at like asking questions.
I think they're just things that I naturally think about from the show, right? And like they're just things that I find are the interesting discussions, because we did the same thing in person.
No, but you're always leading the conversation. I'm like, I can't do this. Like if it like disregarding even FMA, right? If we were to do this again, the same format, the switched,
yeah,
I can't.
You can't lead this section.
Lead discussion because I don't know if it's my worry of spoiling